Here we go.
All right. All right, all right. We are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome out. Welcome out, welcome out. It is Tuesday night, Team Be the Change Hangout. We got some cool stuff for you. Pretty excited about the cool stuff going on tonight. We got a few different people missing in action tonight, but we got a few other rock stars coming up, hanging out with us tonight. A couple of them will be on later as well. And so just want to turn it on over. Landon, man, you were with us last weekend at New Orleans at Impact. How you doing, man?
Oh, dude, doing good, man. It was an awesome event, dude. Just awesome. And I went in. I wasn't really planning on going to Charlotte, the next one, but now they're like it's going to be almost like a national one. So I'm going to be in Charlotte as well. So if you're watching, get your ticket to Charlotte for sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, man. Yeah, that's the cool thing about this is that we kind of realized that Charlotte's not just going to be a regional. Like we realized how the regional events were set up weren't as effective as national events. So we're really going to treat this one like a national event because it's going to be 3 months before the next event, which is going to be our regular quarterly promotional cycles for our events. So this one's kind of like the culmination of an amazing transformation and evolution that's gone on. So, we had some fun there last weekend. But firstly, I want to welcome everybody out. I want to welcome everybody that's been invited here tonight. A lot of you may have been invited by somebody who's in Team Be the Change. A lot of you might have been invited by other people even outside the team, just saying, hey, tune in because we always hear about these hangouts. They're just awesome content and everything. And so if you're here tonight, then rest assured that if you are looking to create a better life for yourself, looking to make your present situation better in a lot of ways, including financially or mentally or emotionally, that's a lot of the stuff we handle and that we talk about on this call, on this hangout every night. We get together and hang out and do some training and teach a lot of things and then also talk about a lot of concepts and things that really help people with their life and their business and how that ties together. Interesting way, interesting model that we have never found with any other industry in the world. So that's the gist of it. So if you're here, sit back, relax. We're going to talk a little bit about tonight about what we learned at the event, some of the cool things coming up, some of the cool announcements. We have some cool announcements going on, and so yeah, just real quickly, this last event was something that I would have to say is probably one of the best events I've just about ever been to. A little bit of a smaller, more intimate setting. But wow, I mean, Landon, wow.
Oh, dude, it was awesome, man. It was a great event, and obviously I spoke at this one, which was really cool too, dude. That is a rush, guys. Like, if there's one thing, if you want to speak at all, like, do whatever it takes to speak because it is awesome. It's seriously awesome. It's a rush. And then overall, the event was really cool because there's a lot of really concrete concepts that were taught at the event, which was really special and a little bit different and everything. But yeah, man, it was awesome. It was awesome. Everyone was really good. I had a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, everyone was. I mean, the thing that happens at these regionals is that there's actually a lot more training that goes on than where at national events normally, in the past, which is what we're changing. It's a lot of speakers telling stories. And personally, I think telling stories is the best way to teach anyway.
Yeah.
But you got to have both, right? You can't just have the story. You got to have the lesson with it. And so we had some in-depth workshop-style content and cool stuff thrown out this last weekend. And I wish you guys were there. We had a lot more people with us in Seattle. That was kind of what the team agreed to go to as a team. As a group, there was a decent group of us there. New Orleans was a little smaller for our team, but we still had a lot of people familiar in the company that we knew that we got to hang out with. I had a blast. I actually, for the first time, didn't stay at the hotel. I stayed at a mansion, which the guy that owned the mansion was the stunt double of Antonio Banderas. And the guy, I guess they'd filmed like 3 different movies inside this house. And we all had a blast. I rented it with Demir and Irina and Team Make a Difference. Cool group of kids, just awesome guys, awesome group. And I helped them name their team back in January because they wanted to model it after a lot of the ideals we had here. So I really feel real near and dear to them. They're really near and dear to my heart, and just their visions, their values. We need more people like that, inside of Empower. So that was an awesome time because that was different. I didn't have to do that. I actually had a driver, so our driver would come and pick us up. It came along with the rental of the place. So we
Oh,
had a
that's,
driver. Yeah. What was that, Landon?
I just said, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that it came with it. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. He actually came as a package deal along with uh, the whole rental, and so he was on call at any time. He could come pick us up, take us to the hotel, take us anywhere we wanted to. He was our tour guide. He let us know the best places to go. It was awesome. It was great. Cedric was his name. Cedric was our driver. Awesome guy. Driving us around in a maroon Hummer 2 weekend. So, yeah, that was just the awesome part of one of the awesome parts of it all. So, um, and yes, just running here through the comments real quick, saying hey to everybody. Normal Lisa, there is no national event in July. They hadn't. I guess you're right. They hadn't made that too clear to people because it just seemed a little crazy. That would be the fourth month in a row to have an event, and so we're treating Charlotte, which is the end of June, as our last regional, more as the national event where everybody is going back to, because we're really doing a relaunch of everything there. And there's some cool things about that as to why it's a relaunch we'll get into here in a bit about why this works. And so, yeah, it's only going to be, the next one's probably going to be in October. So you've got 3 months, so it's going to be July, August, September, so it'll probably be at the end of September. Or beginning of October is going to be the time frame for that. And so I'm just going down the list here saying hey to everybody. I see Debbie in there. I see Carmen. I see Michael, Leon, Pete, Pamela. Man, we got Ken. There you are. All right. So cool. So just want to say hi to everybody. And yeah, so there were some really cool things going on here. First off, I learned a ton. I mean, I always learn a lot from the speakers and the trainers, and there's some cool things that went on there that just blew my mind. That, for one, we had one part of it, there was training and speaking by up-and-coming leaders, and Landon was one of them, and I just, he's not going to toot his own horn, but I'll tell you guys, the training he threw out there was like second to none. I mean, people were just like, with what you threw out. Yeah, man, the training, I mean, how to do your ads and how to do your emails, just explaining to people the ins and outs. When people understand that stuff, they can take their marketing to a whole other level, and that's something that you've gotten so good at and done so well at, in your career so far, and you're just getting started. This was so cool and inspiring to see. I was honored to be able to introduce him as well. That was awesome. That was an honor for me. I actually had the couple days before when we were having the speakers meeting, I went up to Bonnie, who essentially is second in command next to J-Cron, and I said, Bonnie, is there any way I can introduce Landon? And she's like, of course, we'll make it happen, no problem. And Justin Varengi is supposed to be the MC of the event, so he's the one that goes on and is in that slot scheduled to give a talk and update and brief everybody for the day, what they're going to learn, what they have to look forward to, all that stuff. And so I tell Justin 20 minutes before he's supposed to go on, and I'm like, hey man, can you call me up and let me introduce Landon? And he's like, well, why don't you just do the whole thing? Why don't you just go do all the announcements and get everyone going and be the MC for the morning? And I'm like, okay, But the great thing about it was that, and I'm going to post this video too after the hangout on my wall. This video was the most hilarious thing ever because I taught people how to upgrade people again. I did my training on that, on how to increase your upgrades. And there was one element that I really didn't get in there too well, which was really celebrating and picking up the momentum of when you actually create an all-in sale, which is really the ultimate goal. And so before the trip, when we were at the mansion, little backstory, Demir and Irina found out that they had an all-in sale. And we had talked about it. They were real happy about it. And we just so happened to find, Demir dancing a little later that night after a few select favorite drinks, of which I will not name. But he's Russian, so you have a choice between vodka, and vodka, right? And so, but Damir, and we get him doing like a rendition of like the Napoleon Dynamite dance, and so we get that on there, and so I grabbed that footage from filming it on my camera, and a few other people did as well, and I put that into a little montage that said, this is what happens when you make an all-in sale, and then it shows Damir dancing crazy, and then at the end of it, it just says "get in," or "just get in," ... and the next line appears, "get all in," and it was hilarious.
That was so funny.
Wasn't it hilarious?
The funniest thing, man.
It was a great state change. And so when I walked up there, I made that video, and I showed everybody else in the house. Everybody knew but Damir. And so it was a surprise for Damir. And I get on stage, and I'm like, guys, I forgot the one last thing I forgot to teach you yesterday in my training. And it's how to celebrate this. It's a very important, special way you've got to celebrate this. So if you guys could roll the clip for me, I'd appreciate that. And I watched Damir. I found him in the audience, and I watched him, and I looked at his whole team around him, and they're all looking at me just like trying to hold it in. And it hits the stage, and you see Damir, and he's like just in shock, just in complete shock. It was the most hilarious thing. And it got everybody in the whole place just rolling laughing. It was so funny. And so that set the whole stage, and that was right before I introduced Landon, and so I think that kind of helped calm the nerves a little bit, because that puts you in the right state, because that was your first time speaking ever, wasn't it?
What's that?
That was your first time speaking ever, wasn't it?
Yeah, first time ever. I was nervous, dude. I was like, oh gosh. And so I'm like doing all this stuff. Like John P was doing like this before, so I was like doing some of those. And then Melissa connects, like, you need to do this. So I was doing some of these. Like I was trying to do a little bit of what everyone else was doing.
Yeah, and the whole weekend long. Yeah, I mean the whole weekend before, like the day before that, like I'm sitting next to Landon, and I'm like, do you see what these speakers are doing? Do you see this little thing they're doing? I'm like trying to teach them like these little things about speaking that help just keep audience attention and all that stuff. And he was just like, I was constantly throwing stuff at him, like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And he's like, okay, how am I supposed to remember all this?
And I was like, whenever you like go like watch an event, it kind of just looks like the speakers just kind of like hop up and they just speak. But that's not what happens. There's a lot happening. You have like TV screens that are on the ground and screens that are behind you. You have to like focus on all this stuff. There's a lot happening,
Yeah, there really is. There is a lot happening. But the thing is, it really starts to become like second nature when you start doing a lot more of it. I mean, I actually noticed this was like my second major public speaking engagement, the first one being in Seattle. And I had been on stage before, but I always been on stage with somebody else hosting me. I had never been on stage where it was me running the show. And this time around, I did my same training, but I was able to calm down enough to understand what was going on to where I could cut down some of the details that were confusing people in my content and learn how to present them all better and more clearly and succinctly. And everybody said they loved it much more the second time around for those that saw it the first time. So this is what happens. Oh, yeah. So you'll realize there's going to be a whole state change in your energy the next time around that you do that. But it really helps when you got good content like you did and you got the whole audience just like on the edge of their seat like, this is the coolest thing ever. Because they were doing that to Landon the whole time.
Minutes, my leg was like shaking. I'm like, wait, come on, man,
Really?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Like the first 10 minutes or so, I was nervous, and then it kind of just felt like I was just making a video, And I don't really know exactly when it changed, but it was probably whenever I started getting into the actual content and stuff. Then I was able to kind of step into what I'm used to doing.
Yeah, it took about 5 minutes or so, didn't it?
Yeah, probably about 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, just like I told you. That's about what it takes.
Yeah, then you're like, by the end, it's like you could be up there all day, and that's how it was, man. By the end, it's kind of just like, this is just like a normal thing,
Yeah, it's all day. You could do it all day. Yeah, kind of funny.
Oh, dude, have you seen the new Fast Start videos?
I have seen a couple of them. I haven't made it through all of them yet.
Oh, dude.
Are they not? Are they? And that was I was just going to go into next. So go right ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I went through all of them today, which they're each about like 30 minutes. So it was probably like 2 or 3, maybe even 3 or 4 hours that I watched them today. Oh, dude, they are the best videos. I mean, Empower Network can seriously. I mean, it's like watching the videos is like going to a Tony Robbins event. You know, I mean, they could charge money for just literally the fast start videos. If you guys watching right now, if you're already in Empower Network, you should go watch them. If you're not in yet, you should click the button and buy, and then go watch these fast start videos. Because they are seriously, like, I mean, they help you find your purpose in life. I mean, it's not like, you know, like, oh, here's like the button to click to blog, you know, like whenever you buy most things, everything is sort of like, you know, do this, or whatever. Whereas this is more like how to literally transform your entire life from the very beginning of joining, which it's awesome because it's going to help, it's really going to set the stage for the new people who want to be here. Because some people, they'll watch it and they'll be like, this isn't like, you know, right for me or whatever, like, you know, I thought I was just going to like push like 3 buttons or whatever and I was going to make money. So to kind of get rid of them, but then the people who want to be here, they'll know they're in the right place by watching those videos. They are incredibly amazing. So for one, it's going to help people a lot. For two, it's going to increase our upsells by a ton because he sells in a really, really clear way. It's not like he's sitting there, you know, being annoying about selling, but he sells in a clear way why you need to buy each of the products, what Empower Network is, so everyone that joins will be very clear on what's happening here, how we make money. They're just good.
Yeah, we're actually replacing step 1 in our Getting Started section of our team training site with those fast start videos. We're just going to put a link right to where you log in. Log in here and go to the fast start training. And that's it, because that is genius beyond anything we've all done before. That was amazing. I remember Dave telling me about how he was making these things, and he had them all memorized. He's got this memorization pattern going on with symbols and all of that he explains in there, but that is like superhuman, what he did. And he also did that with the products that he was talking about on Sunday, which we'll get into here in a bit. You definitely want to hear some of the cool stuff we learned about that. But you know, these fast start training videos, man, these things, they're not just fast start trainings. I mean, they're like the foundation of, if you don't have these, this makes complete sense as to why you would not be having success in this business, right?
Oh yeah, because I mean, I learned stuff today, and I've been in Power Network for like 2 years, and I learned stuff about, I mean, he's very clear on like the new member coachings, what you need to do on those calls. I mean, everything is just like really, really clear, so whenever someone joins, they're going to understand what they need to do right now, what they need to do next, how everything works, how everything goes together, and it'll have, people will have breakthroughs literally just by going through the fast start, you know, that's just awesome.
Yeah, man. That it really is. The fast start is just like, I mean, just even I mean, it's like I'm learning stuff. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
To learn again after all that time, it's just a whole other level. So it was an awesome event. A lot more to talk about here, but we got another one on here. Someone that was at the event with us. What's going on, Brett?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. What y'all up? I'm missing everybody, man.
Yeah, man. Did we not have fun this last weekend or what?
Oh man, it was crazy, you know, and then just having people at my house and then hanging out at the mansion and everything. It was awesome, man.
And I know that this event is like a whole other level of cool. I mean, that we were at and what we learned. But if you could put it into words, I know it's really, really difficult to put it into words, but if you could put it into words as to how much this event and the content and the training impacted you, what do you got?
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, you know, just being in the industry for, you know, 7 years or 8 years, whatever it's going on now. I mean, the stuff that Dave taught on Sunday was, it was just unreal. Is the best way to explain it. I mean, it was just, I mean, I honestly couldn't believe he was like teaching us that stuff. I mean, it was just really good, just top quality. I mean, it was worth way more than the VIP ticket cost for sure. So, you know, if you're not going to Charlotte, I mean, definitely get your ticket for that, because I can't imagine what this next one's going to be like. Because it was incredible, man. I don't know what else to say. It was just, I don't know if we're supposed to say some of the stuff he taught, but
you know, I mean, how do you duplicate that? I mean, you can great. You can touch on, maybe some of the core concepts about what we learned.
Yeah, I mean, just like the principles. Some of like the time trap, and I think the coolest one was the tap rooting.
That was a cool one because I've never heard anyone talk about that ever.
Yeah, I mean that was just I mean it would take too long to explain it, how he did, but I mean just that alone, just that one principle alone was worth the price of the VIP.
Yeah. I mean that there is like. And that's another thing we're going to get into also about what went on with the comp plan that was enhanced to be able to, and I'm not talking about an enhancement to a comp plan like you normally hear a company say, where they say it's more money for the reps and they end up taking twice as much, type of thing, where they have to do it to keep the company alive. This is not an enhancement like that. What we've got is an enhancement that allows and now gives the ability for people to work in depth where tap rooting is effective, where tap rooting can be used, and you can bring in people who have had experience in the industry building depth in an organization and know how to do that very well. I was really excited about that because I've done that before. I've learned that, and that was something that I've done a couple different times, and just stoked to know that now on a comp plan that lets us keep the money, that you make more than anything else anywhere else from, you can have that be a part of it. Really, really cool. So we'll get a little bit more into that here in just a bit. But I want to just see here, Brett, what was your favorite speaker and presentation of the event after being there the whole weekend?
Oh, man.
Look at him.
Hey, you gotta put me on the spot with speakers now, man.
Okay, so Landon and Chris aside, okay. Now, what was your favorite one? Because that's a tough. Yeah, I understand. You don't want to answer that question to two speakers there.
No, honestly though, I mean just the things that I needed help with in my business. I mean, what you talked about was very important as far as how to upgrade and how to engage with your new members. I mean, that was a big piece. And what Landon taught on copy, and I've been on his list and been reading a lot of his emails, so I saw a lot of what he taught already. But just hearing him explain it was helpful. But I think other than that, I think what Varengio went over was really cool. I mean, just kind of seeing how he structures his ads as far as if he's going to be going after personal development or law of attraction. And just learning from him was real cool. I thought what Rhonda and Brian Swan were talking about with branding, I mean, I thought that was really good. I mean, just everybody was just, it was like y'all said when y'all first started. I mean, it was just a different event. I mean, everybody was just dropping, mad value and training like I had never seen before. I mean, I don't think I left early for any speaker or really missed any. I might have been kind of hanging out in the back of the room, but I was, engaged with every speaker. I mean, it really was just, a really good event. And then, like you were saying with the comp plan, with Dave tacked on with that, and then, the other stuff he's going to be announcing tomorrow, and then the training on Sunday, it was just I think my brain's still recuperating.
Dude, like my brain is still like exhausted today from all of that. Well, even Ellen, Brett's wife, she's like pumped up over there, and she didn't even go to the event.
Yeah. Just hearing us talk about it.
Messaging me on Facebook today, like I'm so pumped up, like.
Yeah.
Well, she went to the mansion where the real party was at.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. No, man, it was just, I don't know, it was just great. I mean, I expect Charlotte to be the same way.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, is that you're going to get training like that in Charlotte as well. So those who are here who haven't been to one yet, or who were in Seattle or in New Orleans, and I think, Brett, down there y'all say Nolans. Is that how y'all say it down there?
Yeah, that's how we say it.
So even if you've gone to those, you want to go to Charlotte because there's even more happening there. It really is a pivotal relaunch of the company in so many ways, along with the new product lines. Because what a lot of people don't realize and understand is that Sunday was a real live filmed session, professionally filmed, with multiple camera angles, everything, because it was a product. It's actually going to be, and what it is Dave Wood's best work. It really is. And so, what he talked about on stage there on Sunday was a full training that, to me, it's going to be called the team building formula. That's no secret. I can say that for what I can say right now. But that is got to be the best collection of wisdom on building teams and how to avoid all of the pitfalls and traps, and how to avoid the pitfalls and traps for yourself in building it and for the people that you build it for, and how to resolve conflicts and everything else that I've ever seen in my life. When you apply all of these laws and concepts and principles to your team, like the laws of duplication and the 7 things that you need to be able to make sure are happening all in order in your team every step of the way that people need to do. What are the 7 things you need to be doing? I mean, that kind of stuff is like, why did we not have this 20, 30 years ago? Like, why did it take so long? And it was finally like one of those, when you hear it, you're like, why didn't we think of this before? This seems to be so, like, yeah, why wouldn't it be? But it's like, for so long, people were forced into doing stupid things, and literally just stupid things. You just can't fix stupid, right? I mean, just stupid, not thought through things that destroyed organizations, destroyed teams, never allowed people to get momentum or kept people around. And these things are all the secrets as to how that worked, like closely guarded secrets that Dave Wood is just really, known for just blowing the lid off of and exposing anything that has ever been kept, kind of only between a close-knit group of people, because he wanted to blow the whole industry wide open. We've successfully done that before with our revolutionary comp plan, which is getting better, and we're getting even better at everything we do. So that Sunday event, just for people who were there to be able to witness that live, that training is amazing, because in Seattle he did that as well, but he did it, and it was the top producer formula. And it was all about how to actually recruit. The psychology of understanding how to recruit on the phone, how to recruit in marketing, the psychology that you need to understand about that. And so that was like pivotal stuff too, because he did the same thing. He just got up and talked the whole time and illustrated a story as to what the problem was here and how we've learned from this, and how people for 20, 30, 40 years have done it this way, and how we learn from that and doing it ourselves, and how we've shifted it into something that actually works. How people could use a broken model for 30 to 40 years is beyond me, but they were. And Dave Wood proved it. And so the cool thing is, on Sunday in Charlotte, you're going to get another one. and it's going to be called the Mass Influence Formula.
Yeah, it's intense, man.
Because that's what empowerment is the culture,
Yeah.
The secret stuff.
Yeah.
It's intense. I was laughing telling Landon after the first session. I was like, because we sat, well, no, it was, I guess, after the second session, because we got to sit up in the very front row. And when Dave's talking and you sitting that close, it looks like he's like staring directly at you. And it,
actually, that's because he was staring at you.
Is that like a secret? Go ahead, bro. Is that like a secret, man, of like, as far as speaking goes, to like stare at each individual audience member?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Continue to go around and look directly in the eyes of people, and just continue to do that with as many people as you can over and over again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's intense. You're afraid to like blink and stuff.
Yeah, and don't get busted like me. Did you guys hear what happened to me? You heard my story. I was okay. So we were having fun at the mansion, so we were up like all night, and we're just having too much fun. So there was no time to sleep, right? Me, I'm the type of person, I need my sleep. Well, I didn't get it that weekend. And so I had like an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours of sleep every night. That's it. And for me, that doesn't work, right? I'm used to sleeping like until I'm done sleeping, like 8 hours. So I slept like 10 when I got back, And so I'm there on Sunday morning, and all of a sudden I start to feel a little drowsy, and I take a quick shot of like espresso, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like I hear this voice. And I don't know if it was either God or my body that was like, screw you, Chris. Don't give me any more caffeine. If you do, I don't even care. I'm not using it. I'm shutting down. I heard it and I was like, oh no. The next thing I know, I went like this, and I look over and the cameraman in the corner is looking at me, and he's pointing at me, and he's laughing, and he's like, I got you on camera. I got you on the camera. And laughing, and I'm like, don't you dare show that footage, don't you dare. I was like, you will regret it, don't you dare show that, because he got it on camera. Literally, he's laughing at me. I was like, oh no, how did I do that? So I got like a Red Bull.
Yeah, it's
that stuff.
It's intense, man. I took like 10 pages of notes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I, man. It was seriously awesome stuff, dude.
Yeah, and that's just the kind of thing, that happens at events, and it's a funny thing that, what I really loved is that on Friday night, and this is an important thing for everybody in the team and everybody in Empower Network to understand. This is one of the things moving forward we really all have to be really aligned on. This is a very important thing. Dave comes out and he talks about how, we just by the sheer nature of what we do attract a lot of people that don't understand what we do or why we do what we do or why we have done what we've done. And so because of that, they talk. They point the finger and they talk about things they don't understand and they bash us. And what has happened, and this is one of the things in the team building formula we talk about, is that we haven't handled very well as individual units of teams and groups, is that people get on the defensive. When you get attacked, you get defensive. And you attack back normally, right? It's kind of human nature. And so here we have these Empower reps who are fighting back and essentially sinking to those ignorant people's level and making us sound just as bad because we don't have any class to be above it. And we start bashing their companies back. And Dave Wood came out there and stood in front of everybody and said, this shit has got to stop. This is not us. This is not who we are. This is not why we started this company, and this is not what we are going to do from now on. Here's what we are going to do from now on. We're a friend of this industry. We may be the misunderstood friend. Nevertheless, we know what we have. We know we have superior training. We know we have superior products. And we know we have a superior leadership line. And if we have all of those things, then the rest will be self-evident. And so what we're going to do is we're going to welcome other people from the industry, not talk bad about them, not get into the mine's better conversation or the mine's better argument, which nobody wins because people want to be right, and they're not going to concede their argument because they've been told everything they need to know in order to be sold on their company, right? And unless you're just a superhuman influencer like Landon, then you really can't, do too much of that except unless you do it through emails like Landon does, which you would have learned at New Orleans if you'd been there. Exactly. So that's why you need to go to Charlotte. So the thing about this is we need to start treating people like this in the industry that way. And the good news is, you guys got to remember, we have untold stories, countless untold stories of the people who have used the Empower Network products to go off and build their business, whatever it may be, and that may be a traditional MLM business, that may be affiliate marketing companies, that may be their local brick and mortar business, or maybe even eBay, who knows. But they've done it, and they've used the training inside of these products to do so and to learn. And that's the service that we provide to the industry, is that, okay, that's why we said, you can do what you want. If you want to be here and build a team, by the numbers, the math works out that you'll probably make more, unless you've got something else going for yourself that we don't know about. But we're pretty sure of that at this point. However, that's not the only reason people do companies or sell stuff because they sell stuff sometimes they're passionate about, and they sell stuff that that is their own business. And so there's many, 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 many stories like that. And so if we start bashing and talking about how everybody else is the evil guys or the bad guys, and we're the only good guys, then we're no better than the rest of the bad guys. You see what I'm talking about? Where we're sinking to their level. It's one of those things that Einstein just said, a problem cannot be solved at the same level of thinking that it was created at.
Okay.
And so we're going to be a place where people can trust us to come in and buy these products. There may be companies that may want to outsource their training to Empower and come here, and they need to be able to trust us to be able to come here and have their reps buy these products. That's what we do. We sell products. And if they don't feel comfortable being here, that's not going to happen. So we need to make it okay for them to be here and not act like we're better than everybody else. Now, by the math, yeah, we pretty much make more than just about anybody. Fine. And if your goal is to make more than anything, then you're going to leverage that better here than anywhere, in my personal opinion. But that's my opinion, right? But that may not be why everybody builds a business. You may love your traditional company that you've been in for a while, never had any real success, but now you can take the training from Empower and apply that to your company that you can start to have a lot of success. And before long, you're one of the top producers in your company. And before that, a couple months ago, you were a nobody in that company. It happens all the time, right? Haven't you guys seen that? People take those products and they go other places and they just have all kinds of success. The untold success stories are amazing, right?
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing too, man. I'm really impressed with where Dave's moving the company as far. He's even the new Fast Start videos. It is everything is just top quality, and he's improving everything as he goes. And I think a lot of people have misunderstandings about who we are, and I think that's why a lot of the bad comments and hate's generated. And I guess affiliates of Empower Network are just so emotional and passionate about Empower that sometimes they'll defend and say things without really thinking about it. So, but just this weekend with Dave rolled out, with the comp plan and you could just tell he's on a mission, and it's powerful, it's professional, and yeah, like you were saying, we may be biased, but we kind of have the best of both worlds now with the comp plan, the top tier, high ticket products. I just doesn't get any better than that anywhere else.
Absolutely, and we got the best one yet to come. Third time's a charm in Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm interested to know what's going to happen in Charlotte now.
Yeah.
I don't know those secrets yet, but but yeah, man. And I think that especially, dude, that new product, dude. That's going to change network marketing completely. I believe that anyone who goes through that new product, which I wasn't there for Seattle, so I don't know the top producer one, but just the team build one. You could take that in any network marketing company, become top producer.
Yeah.
It's seriously, it is incredible. And it's hard to explain, and you won't know until you go through it. If you weren't there, you won't know for sure what I'm talking about, but it's like nothing I've ever seen before, ever. It's really cool.
Right. And here's the thing. I want to address this real quick about, a lot of people may be on this call for the first time, and some people, some of you have varying degrees of experience in either network marketing or affiliate marketing, and it's two dramatically different things actually, which we've kind of hybridized and put together into something that works pretty well. And so I want to just quickly explain to people here what we did and what our intention was and what we started here, so that they understand what we're doing. Because a lot of people are like, wait a second, MLM network marketing isn't one of those pyramid things, where only people at the top make money, and in a way, that's kind of like a valid argument in some ways, you can create the top, but that's neither here nor there. And what we did is that we saw that this industry, the industry of network marketing, was just broken. When you have a 98% failure rate over the long term, it's like, come on, What's going on? That's called a broken business model. And then, we decided to, before we started Empower, Dave was having more success than anybody learning online marketing strategies and applying what we call affiliate marketing techniques to the traditional network marketing companies, which a lot of the companies were so afraid of it because it was new and different, and they didn't know how to handle it, and they didn't know what to do about it. A lot of them didn't even allow you to market on the internet. I mean, how ridiculous and resistant to change are some of these companies when they don't allow you to market on the internet? I mean, for God's sakes, I mean, hello, it's the 21st century? I mean, it's like, wow. So that's the kind of fear, and the misunderstanding of it. And so, to make a long story short, Dave was going off and recruiting, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people in other deals and into these traditional companies, and he was making all right money, but he wasn't able to get it duplicated for a lot of people. And the problem was that these comp plans with traditional MLM companies are geared to where, like let's say you go sell a bottle of juice, right? And you make like industry average, you make like 20% off the price of that big front-end order if you get somebody to sign up as a rep and they buy that front-end package, right? And you get like 20%. And so that juice costs like, that case of juice costs like $80, so you get like $15, right? Cool, And then the residual from them buying on their auto ship, you get about 5% of what that person is paying every month. So if that person is paying $100 a month for an auto ship, you're getting $5 off of that person every month, and they tout that as the great long-term residual. And so I know, right? Yeah, don't even get me started. And so you've got that, and we looked at that and we were like, well, where's the other 95%? Well, half of it right away goes to the company. That's just where they're putting it in their pocket. And they've got to run the company. And obviously, if they have a physical product, they have overhead and costs and expenses and shipping and all that stuff. So I get that. I actually get that. However, the other 45% goes to people who have already brought in a lot of people. So they take that money that you generated and they put it in the hands and pockets of people above you that have already worked. And this is where the whole pyramid, concept came along. Whether it's right or wrong, it is what it is. And in a way, guys, I mean, get over the pyramid thing because everything in life is a pyramid. I mean, even every corporate structure, all that other BS, don't get me started on that argument because that's a dumb one to even have, right? So, really, right? So, and what I'm talking about here is, what did we do? Well, we wanted to combine the best elements of network marketing, which is that team-building effect of cultures, of organizations and groups that can get together, have events, have a catalyst for personal development, help them create long-term residual income, and then also incorporate the new affiliate marketing techniques and understanding of how to create income online and combine the two in a company that was supposed to be just an affiliate marketing company that was inspired by network marketing. And what we later found out is when we hired an attorney and asked him to go through all this different compliance stuff, they said, well, Dave, you actually fall under network marketing laws, not affiliate marketing laws. We were like, well, why? And they said, well, because of your pass-up system, it goes multiple levels. And then we argue, and we said, no, I mean, the code goes to one person, and whether it codes to somebody 5 levels above or not, it's only to one. They get 100% commissions, they keep all the money, and it goes to that one person. There's not multiple people or multiple levels of people getting money off of that. And they said, the fact that it passes past the first person at sometimes to a second level and multiple levels, the interpretation is that it's multi-level. And we were like, shit. We were like, here we were trying to create something new, and we really have, because the business model here is that, like I said, if you get someone paying $100 a month in an auto ship in a traditional deal, you're getting $5 a month off of that. If you get somebody paying $100 a month in Empower Network, guess what you're getting? $100. the whole thing. And people are like, well, how does the company make money? Well, we have a $20 a month affiliate fee that covers costs and everything and services our members for customer support and the such, but all of our products are digital, so there's no overhead, right? And so we let the reps keep all the money. And so people, like, you have to work like 20 times as hard to make that same $100 in an original traditional network marketing company as if you did that one sale. Instead of doing it 20 times over here to make $100, you make that one sale in Empower, and you're making that every month residually because it's a recurring subscription. And you just get one rather than 20. 20 or 1. 20 or 1. I don't know how many times I still have people after I explain it that simply that look at me with a deer in the headlights look. And I'm like, yeah, that actually happened. That actually did happen. Yeah, I said it, you know. So, yeah, you know, and so the cool thing here is that, you know, as we're talking about network marketing, as we're talking about affiliate marketing, understand that, yes, technically and legally we fall under MLM laws, network marketing laws. However, this ain't one of those deals, guys. This ain't the type of deal that you get into that has a 98% failure rate, that has people making $5 and trying to get somebody to pay $100 and they only get $5 off of it, and you got to take forever to build long-term residual. Well, the thing with Empower, and here's how we shift into a little bit of what has made this comp plan so cool now, is before we let people keep the money, and so your production, I mean, your income was directly based on your production. What you produced, you kept. However, there was this really cool element that we wanted to incorporate somehow into this comp plan, because we saw the type of residual income that was solid, stable, and secure for people who had built a traditional network marketing company over the years. They put in all that work, they actually did everything they were supposed to, and they had a long-term residual income that was secure and stable. How did they do that? Because they had lines of depth. Lots of lines of depth. If one person they sponsor, and that person sponsored another one, and that person sponsors another one, it goes down 20, 30, 40 levels. And when somebody down here at the 38th level is doing really well, that causes the rest of these people not to quit, because they can now benefit from that person. So they stay in and keep going. They get motivated by that. That's some of that taprooting stuff we were talking about that we learned in the team building formula. Yep. And so that element was never available to Empower, because, you know, we were pretty much like, you know, one level of people, and then, you know, the pass-ups they gave you. And that was it. 2 levels, just like an affiliate plan, right? A technical legal affiliate marketing compensation plan only allows for 2 levels of compensation. The people you sell the tool to, and the people they sell the tool to, you can earn a secondary commission off to. And that's it. If there's any more after that, then it falls under multi-level marketing guidelines. I've studied all this stuff. Just, I'm telling you, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, but that's from a layman's understanding of the industry. That's the truth, right? And so this comp plan and change has given the incentive for people who are producing to want to go and work down in depth and it be worth it and cause long-term stability and security. So for those of you that loved that whole concept of being able to build depth and build a team, that was awesome. And the cool thing is, I'm sitting in this leadership meeting, and Lana was there with me, where Dave was talking about, you know, you have somebody like Chris who knows how to build a team, knows how to keep a team together, has a vision, has all this going on already. If he had this happening already with that comp plan, his income would be tripled. And so a lot of people go, well, wait a second, so you mean only the leaders are making money and this turned back into a pyramid? No. We didn't take any money out of the pockets of the reps. We just changed something in the pass-up system that gives the incentive for the person that brings somebody in and sells the products to and becomes a rep, that gives me an incentive to go help them make their next sale. And what that does is get them going. It helps me reach out and help build their business for them that they get to profit from as well, because of the multiple codes. So a lot of that will be explained here soon. It's going to be on the blog. It's going to be announced, all that cool stuff. But that's one of the major things, is a comp plan change. That here's one of the cool things. We ran that scenario, and we realized that what that's going to do is all the people that are really working, that are really like at $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month that are just struggling to get by, and this is their full-time gig. This is like automatically, for the people who are actually working, it's going to double their income, just like that. Just like that. And so even if you're at $500 a month, even if you're at $300, it's going to double your income, just like that, from what you do from here on out. And now nothing that is already existing is going to change. That all stays the same, so you don't have to worry about, well, wait a second, is that going to change the people that are coded to me already? I've built this business, I have all that. No, 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 relax. None of that is changing. You hear me? Read my lips. None of that is changing. Everything existing is going to stay that way. But from here on out, from a certain date, it's going to change, and that's going to allow you, as a person who is actually producing, to take advantage of more of the comp plan and build more security and depth in your organization. So, and the cool thing is that the team building formula helps you understand how that happens, and it ties right into how to do that well. Now that we have this comp plan enhancement, and we have this product that helps us to understand why that works and how to do it. That's cool. So it's perfect timing. It really is a perfect storm of events here. Yeah. So, you know, after, as I was explaining all that there, you know, Landon, anything to add to that there at all?
Oh, dude, no. I mean, it's cool, though. I mean, it's cool because now, like, because, I mean, before, even though Empower Network had the multi-levels, it was still basically, you know, just an affiliate gig where you basically got paid off of a little bit. But now, Empower Network becomes, like, 8 business models in one. It's kind of like a mixture of, you know, the guru model that Dave talks about in the Fast Start videos. He kind of goes over some of the models. So you have, like, the guru model, which is like the best model, because in the guru model you can sell a product for 100% commissions because you create the product. Well, in Empower, you get the guru money with the 100% commissions, up to 100%. Some of the products kind of vary. So you get up to 100% commissions like the gurus do, and now we get sort of like the multiple levels, like all the benefits of the network marketing. We have the more expensive products. We get all the benefits of the top tier stuff. Now, like, our compensation plan has the benefits of every single company inside of it, and it's gangster, man. It's gangster. I'm excited to learn this stuff because team building has been my specialty. My specialty's sort of been marketing and bringing in new. So, I mean, it's something that I have to learn, and that's where I'm putting a lot of my attention towards in the books that I'm reading and stuff on leadership, culture, and growth and stuff like that. But it's exciting to learn.
Right on, right on. Brett, any thoughts there on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I just, and that was a lot of stuff me and Landon had talked about after we were bringing them from walking out on Sunday. It's just, you know, it's just a combination of all the best things in the industry. You know, I've promoted a bunch of different stuff, been part of a bunch of different programs, and I honestly, and I'm not saying it's just because I've been in Power. I really don't know anything else that's going to be more powerful to build and to you know, to make money from, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's really powerful. I mean, it's just exciting, and you know, and then on top of that, I don't know if you were going to talk about some of the stuff Dave went over as far as you know, when people ask you a question and you know how to respond to that. Were you wanting to cover some of that?
I would love to, man. I would love to if you want to also jump into that and talk about it.
Yeah. I mean,
and before we do that, real quick, man, let me quickly here. I want to address quick. Debbie had a question there in the comments stream, and I wanted to address that real quick because I really didn't actually say what was going on with the comp plan enhancement. Without being able to draw it out, which is when it's really going to make sense. What I can say, Debbie, is that the way that's set up is that's going to allow infinite levels. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it has the ability to be infinite levels because we're still using a power line system. And what has actually happened, which a lot of people know now, I don't know if this is completely public knowledge. If it will be, it'll be tomorrow. But the power lines, which have classically always been, you bring somebody in, you keep the first one, you bring the second one in, the second one passes up, and you do that with 2, 4, and 6. You stagger. So the first 6 recruits of people that buy the products and become an affiliate, half of them pass up, which has always been the incentive for your person to help you, and what we found is that there was a flaw in that. That was the chance, because essentially 50% of the people you brought in were passing up to your sponsor, and we saw that there was a flaw that we finally realized crippled us for 2.5 years. And obviously, as everybody knows, every fifth after that on into infinity passes up to your sponsor as well. And so, a lot of people go, well, wait a second, that's not 100% commissions, that's only like 80% or 50% of the first 6. Well, that's right, that is true, but you keep 100% of the code from that person, and also you've got to think beyond what you're giving and passing up. You got to think of the fact that you're getting that from your people as well, so it evens out. But the main thing here is that we realized that if we reversed the power lines from 2, 4, 6 to 1, 3, and 5, this did something that it never had the ability to do before. And that is that everybody brings somebody in, and then they wait, and they give that person access to training, and they say, go out there and make it happen, do what you can, and let's see if you can bring somebody in. Because that person they bring in, they get to keep, but there's no financial incentive for that sponsor to help that person. So they essentially wait and let that person go out and fend for themselves without any help, trying to get their first person. Now, and then they would only jump in when they got somebody, and then they help them on the second person because they know that second person passes up. And so we were looking at that and we were like, wait a second. But that person still has to figure out the first one without any real help. And we were like, there's a problem here. There's an actual problem. What if we changed the power lines and we moved it to where we help you get your first one, and that first one passes to the sponsor, but yet now that person has actually helped that new person, show them what to do, helped them get that person, and trained them and that new person at the same time. So not only while they're teaching and training the person that passed up that they helped them get, but that's displaying to the person that they originally recruited on how to do it. So then they can go and do it with their people that they recruit. And all of a sudden it was like, wow, psh, shift, right? Now, I'm just going to be totally honest with you guys. I mean, this industry, it's kind of funny because, online marketing is a little more complicated to learn than just going around trying to wander around Walmart trying to sponsor people and hit people up and try to give them a DVD or send them to some kind of presentation somewhere, or have them come over, invite them to come over to your house to see a business plan. What they found in the traditional network marketing companies, you guys are going to love this. I've actually got some numbers. The average rep sponsors in traditional companies 2.2 people. That's what it comes out to. And so if that's the case, MLM companies have designed to where you really don't make any real kind of money until you sponsor your third person. That way they know they can take the money of the masses, and the people that only do 2.2, they don't really make anything. It's only on that third person they actually have money in the comp plan to be able to pay you, because they pay so little, right? And so we looked at that and we were like, okay, and then we looked at what the average rep does here in Empower Network. I'm going to tell you that in a second. But keep in mind, things are a little more complicated, obviously, when you're learning online marketing, and so you've got to get a few things set up. You've got to learn some marketing strategies, some concepts. You've got to learn how to email. There's a lot more moving parts to this stuff. And so the number is less than 2.2, but you'll be pretty amazed at what it is. But even with all of that extra stuff to overcome, what we found is that in Empower, for the people that are the ones that normally make excuses for themselves and don't really do anything and find reasons to quit, which they do with everything, because obviously there's people that make money in this company all over the place. And I'm not going to give an income disclaimer there because that's just reality, right? Is the average person brings in 1.7 people before they, that's all that, and that's averaged out with all of the people that never sponsor anybody and make excuses for themselves and never do anything and never figure out any of the online stuff at all and get frustrated with technical stuff and quit, right? So you have real people that actually do something that actually bring in more like an average of like 3, 4, 5, or 6, right? Depending on how much time they have. And you can look at our income disclosure that shows you our average earnings and all that stuff, and that'll all make sense. But what we realize is that if it was averaged out altogether, it was 1.7 people. And we thought, okay, that means that the average person's going to go and find somebody to get their money back, and then sometimes, 7 out of 10 times, they'll bring in a second person, which passes up. But they don't have an incentive past the first person. They get somebody else to get their money back, because all you need is one sale to get your money back, right? Because it's 100% commissions. You go pay $100 and you get someone else to pay $100 to you, and essentially minus processing fees online. So let's not get all splitting hairs here. But so you get like $94 or $95, whatever, right? So then you have this thing where this person doesn't have an incentive to really try for that second person because it's going to pass up. And they're like, well, I'm just going to give this one away, and I've really got to get past this somehow, and I don't know, what to do. So they don't try as hard. They're not as motivated. So we realized there was a flaw in that. We realized there was a problem with that. That was a broken thing. And what we realize is when we reverse the power lines and the first person passes, then what that does is it gives the incentive for that new leader to not leave you out in the cold and to actually go and help you build that business and find that person and help you sponsor that person and give you the kind of training and guidance because it's worth it to them financially. And for me personally, I can now get on the phone with the first person they bring in and I can upgrade them with the skill that I have. And the cool thing is that person I sponsored, when they bring me their first person, I can get that person started on a getting started call, and the person that I sponsored personally gets to watch and learn and be taught how to do it for themselves. So they get the support and they get the training they need to get going, and then they get that, and now they're empowered to go and make a sale for themselves, which is the second one, which gives them the incentive because they're excited about it because that one they keep. And the cool thing is, now they already know how to do it. They've done it. Now it's easy to go do it for number 3 because that'll go pass up, but then they know number 4 is theirs. But they've already done it, right? And so there's that fundamental shift. And so anybody who just even does a couple sales is starting to get to the point where this is worth it more for them than the someone who only brings in one person, right? Because the average person doesn't even sponsor 2, right?
Yeah.
And so this gives us the ability to help our people get going and get better training. And the cool thing is, because of the way that codes, I could literally build down infinite levels for the first person and their first person they sponsor, and that power line codes, and then they sponsor their first person and that power line codes, and they sponsor their first person and that power line codes, all back to me. And I can drive depth, which is what the tap routing is. I can drive depth all the way down as many levels as possible. And here's the cool thing. That's just from the $25 product. But not all those people are going to upgrade to the Inner Circle or the Costa Rica or all the other products, and so those other products randomly code to the other people along the way. Sometimes to me, sometimes to their sponsor, sometimes to people above them, depending on where it's at, where the pass-ups fall, because every product has its own 2, 4, 6, and every 5th code, but now it's 1, 3, 5. And so you're going to see that happening to where you'll get some of the codes. So what that does is that as I'm building depth, as I'm going through and teaching people how to do this because I've experienced this, I know how to do this, and I can do this properly, and I know how to market and teach people how to market, I can do this as they upgrade. Those codes are starting to make other people along the way coming back up to me. It all doesn't filter up to me, but those other codes start coding to other people and making them money automatically, and I did that for them. Did you get that? Light bulb? Now you can have your leaders build for you. And we all benefit. You see, Landon, I can go to you, and if this was brand new, right? If we were brand new and we just started, as an example, and I say, Landon, I'm going to help you get your first person. And let's just say you get Brett.
Yeah, Brett.
Yeah, you get Brett. And instead of you just saying to Brett, hey, Brett, now let's just say Brett's brand new. Brett's not the badass marketer that's been around and knows the deal and knows how to just make this thing happen when he turns it on, right? And let's just say Brett's brand new, and Brett decides to get started in this thing, and you say, hey, you know what? I want to introduce you to my upline, my sponsor that helped me get started. He's actually going to jump on a call when we do our getting started call. He's going to do it with us. He's going to teach both of us here at the same time how to do this thing. And Brett's like, okay, awesome, right? Okay, so I get to learn from the guy that's doing this and is experienced in these particular things. And so we get on the line, and Landon is a new person as well. Let's just say both of you are newbies right now. Landon is listening to me teach Brett how to do this, and he's listening and he's going, okay, this is what I can do with the second person that I sponsor. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say I get Brett to upgrade. I get Brett to upgrade to the other products. But he may not upgrade to all of them at first. And so there's a couple products that will code to Landon instead of me, with Brett and also with the people that Powerline code to Landon from Brett. But if I've taught Brett how to market, then that is going to allow him to go out and bring people in, and the pass-ups that he gets, that he goes up, that goes to Landon, are going to code to Landon and make Landon more money as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, Landon, in that particular case, all you did was get out of the way.
Yep. That's kind of marketing right there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize all that stuff, man. That's intense.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you could just.
Yeah, that's cool though. That's cool. It's a lot, but it's cool. Man.
Yeah, that is very heady. But for those of you that have been around and kind of understand comp plans, for those of you that don't understand that, you don't have to worry about it. All of what I'm telling you is true, and you'll understand it as you get through this thing, as you start moving through. So what essentially this really accomplishes overall is you're going to be able to have your leaders work for you, and then that's going to turn you into a leader quicker if you choose to, and then be able to turn into that leader quicker and be able to build depth and security so that your income doesn't go down when you stop recruiting because of natural attrition rates.
Right.
Which is way less here in Empower than in any other traditional company. But yet it is human nature, and people make excuses for themselves and get frustrated and quit and all that stuff, right? And so the attrition naturally is going to happen. That's just human nature. Not everybody's going to stay in forever. That's not reality. So, and they shouldn't. They can't handle it. They shouldn't be here. So that's how this thing works with the coding. And maybe I confused the heck out of people, but hopefully I didn't. But if I did, it doesn't matter because this type of thing is going to help. And so I'm really excited about that. Now, anyways, and I know that was a long-winded answer that I didn't necessarily think I was going to get all into when I was explaining it, but I realized that there were some people out there that were ready for that. But now I want to quickly jump in here before we wrap up here. Brett, let's jump out here real quick and talk about some of the things we were taught to be able to how to talk to people about.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You got something, dude?
No, you go, dude.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. No, I mean, I think the thing that I got the most value out of this weekend was, Dave was talking about different strategies you can use when you bring somebody in and they ask you a specific question, or whatever it may be, whether it's how to set up a squeeze page, or how to work an autoresponder. So I thought it was interesting how he told us to handle that. And I think the most powerful thing he shared was, when somebody comes to you with those questions, it was kind of funny how he would tell them, I'd love to help you with that. I'm actually going to be doing a live event, this coming Thursday. And, he would challenge them to, show up to that event with a certain amount of people, 5, 10 people, and what he would do is he would use, sometimes bring in like a third-party help. So if it's about, for instance, like if I was somebody asked me how to write emails, maybe I'd bring Landon in, to do a training on how to write email copy. But in that training, if we have a new person and they get 10 people to show up, not only do we give them the training, that Landon would deliver the training, we would then, because he said, he gave us, let's see, it was 6 things, and maybe if I'm missing one, y'all let me know. But he said every time you want to be training, selling, upselling, downline production, culture, and promoting the next event. So in this instance, you would get your person, your new team member, to bring people to the training, and after you training, you want to sell them, you want to upsell them, and the downline production is going to be, you're going to be helping your first person or your team member build their downline, and at the same time you're building the culture around your team. And then what you want to do is you want to promote the next live event, whether it's the Empower Hour call, or if you happen to have another team event like this, Hangout next, or actually a live event. And I mean, just that training right there, you can use that to build anything. And that was big to me, because probably like a lot of people in the Hangout, when somebody asks you a question, you want to try to, I guess, act like you know it all. And Dave was just saying, just cut that shit out. I mean, there's better ways to do it. And he said, never do one-on-one time. And then when you think about it, I mean, we're all in this business for freedom and being able to do the things that we want to do with our own time. And this really helps do that and accomplish many other things at the same time. So, I mean, I just thought that was powerful. I mean, Landon, I don't know if you have anything that you want to share.
Gangsta, it's really cool because, for one, what's really cool about it is you'll have someone who, if you don't challenge them, they'll never do anything. And that's kind of how I am. I'm the type of person who really likes to be challenged, Yeah. And I mean, there are different personalities for different people. So, I mean, if you're talking, to like a grandma on the phone, you might not, ride her real hard. You're like, this is what you got to do. And so, I mean, there's different personality types, and you need to be filling them out on the phone and stuff like that. But, I'm the type of person that also likes to be challenged. And so whenever you're on the phone with someone, they have a question, well, what happens if you sit there, what Brett talked about earlier, it's called a time gap. So, if you sat there and you answered these questions, right? So someone calls you, they're like, I need help with setting up my lead capture page. Now, you have options whenever you're on the phone with that person. You can sit there and you can answer every question. So you can be like, well, here's how I set up my capture pages. Let me show you exactly what to do, blah, 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 and show them how to do that. Well, what happens is that just wasted however much time for you, 30 minutes. But what you don't realize, and this was the big thing, even thinking about it in my own mind, is that whenever you teach that person, now whenever that person has a question or gets a question from one of their teammates, they're going to do the same thing you did. And then when that teammate gets questions, and so then all of a sudden it's not like you're wasting 30 minutes. If you have a big organization, it's like you're wasting, 20 hours or 30 hours by answering one question. And so it really changes the way you think about everything, that the things that you do, you need to think of them almost from a perspective that's almost far away, kind of looking at it from the outside, so that you can kind of see, okay, what the decisions I make right now, how is this going to affect everything? And I know some of you might be new, or you might not have a big team yet, but it's good to get the right habits right now, so that as you begin creating your big team and as you get to go creating your big income, that you're doing things the right way right now. And that's a big shift that I'm going to do. And so basically, just like Brett said, so someone calls me and asks you a question, I need help setting up the lead capture page. Instead of being like, here's how you set up the lead capture page, you say, You know, that's a really good question. I'd love to answer that question. I'm actually doing a live webinar this a Thursday night, and we've got either a third-party expert, it could be yourself, it could be, you know, us on these Hangouts or whatever, and be like, you know, and I'll have him answer that question for you. But here's what I want you to do, and then you issue a challenge. And he used 10 people most of the time, but you could have some sort of a challenge that's stretching someone. So not something easy. You know, don't be like bring, you know, one person, but something that's a challenge to a new person. So he did, you know, 10 people. If you bring 10 people to this live event, we'll answer that question for you, and we'll even bring you out onto the Hangout, and we'll look at your capture pages live, and we'll help you do it, but you have to bring 10 people to it. Can you commit that you're going to do that, that you'll be here with 10 people? Do you commit to that? And they'll say, you know, yes, I'll do it. And so then when they do it, what happens is like a ton of powerful things. Number one is they're getting the help they need. Number two is you're doing the training. So now your entire team knows how to set up the capture pages. Number three is you're recording that training. So you take that training, now you can put it in a back office or on a site. So whenever another teammate has a question about lead capture pages, now you have somewhere to send them. So that's the next thing that happens. Number four is they have people that are coming to the webinar that are like prospects. So now what you do on the webinar is at the end of it, you sell like crazy, and now you're making this new teammate money. So you're making money, they're making money by not answering their question, which is really cool, right?
Yeah. I think we both left out one thing too. Is
go ahead.
On the not only do you challenge them to get people to the event, but you know Dave would say, you know, are you serious about that? Well, you know, do you have the 15K formula? You know, so like following his rules, you know, he was training, he's selling, he's upselling. So he was like, so it's cool, you know. So somebody calls to ask you a question. Not only do you not answer the question, but you make $1,000 and you get 10 new prospects to the next live event.
So you make $1,000. Your teammate makes money. You're training your team, and you're having a training that you can now record for everything by not answering someone's question.
Yeah, and you're building a culture because, like he was saying, that the events will get bigger and bigger, and as you get better at doing these, you know, live webinars and trainings and stuff, you know, more and more people will start coming. You'll be able to start closing more and more people for your team. And I mean, even if you're new, you can do this. I mean, if you're new, you still know more than 99% of the people out there. So I mean, don't be discouraged. I mean, if you have some team members and they ask you something, I mean, just do a webinar. Get on something like this and just tell them to bring 10 people, and you know, just share your vision, share where you're going. Share what your vision is for for your group, for your team, and you know, just start doing it, and eventually you're going to get really good at it, and it works. I mean, it works.
Well, here's a good thing, and here's why we have the team, is because as you noticed, I've been answering questions in the comment stream while we're on this Hangout, and so the good news is the format here is shifting to where we're going to be able to give a training, give some announcements, give some updates, and then also answer any questions that people have when they bring them to this live Hangout. And this is the law of third party, because as a new person, you don't have to know anything. All you have to do is point them to the direction of what they need to go, or where they need to go to get what they need, which is come to the Hangout, get your questions answered. That's where we all meet on Tuesday night, and you'll be there. And challenge them to get people there. Now, you don't necessarily have to say 10 right away. You know, it's whatever you want to, you know, but challenge people. You know, Dave really likes to throw a big challenge out there, you know. and I'll tell people, hey, if you can just get 3 there, you know, or you can get 5, you know, then go for it, and I'll answer these questions for you, and I'll teach people what to do, and then I'll go ahead and sell for you too. And so that's something that's leveraged, because we want to have the people that are the authorities that know what they're talking about answering the questions. We don't want new people trying to answer questions, because that does one of two things. One, you may not know the real answer very well, or you may not know how to explain it. Or two, what you do is you're displaying to them and being the example to them that what you've just illustrated to them is that if someone asks them a question like that, they have to know the answer. And as a new person, that freaks them out. That makes them nervous. They don't want to have to be the expert. So what do? They don't go recruit anybody, and they spend all their time in perpetual learning mode because they want to be able to answer every question that they have. And so one of the things you could do is you know, I mean, and Dave's really postured with people about, you know, hey, get people here as well, and we'll get that question answered. And to me, it's like, yeah, if you can get people there, awesome, and let's throw a challenge out there. But if someone asks a question, say, you know what, what's that question? Okay, let me write that down because I'm going to send that on to and put that in our group, and I'm going to put that, you know, send that to the leaders, and also put it in the comment stream as well. And I want you to ask that in the comment stream on the Hangout on Tuesday. Save that question and ask it on the Tuesday Hangout. Because I don't know. All I know is these people are the ones that are successfully doing this, and we need to get the answer from the horse's mouth, you know? So there's a couple ways to handle that, is to write down the question and say, look, I'm going to get that onto leadership, and then they're going to answer it on the Hangout as well, you know, where they're going to do that. Or have them go, you know, and the better way, obviously, is what Dave taught, get them to the Hangout to where they ask the question themselves. But some people may not, because of scheduling conflicts, have a chance to, you know, make it to the Hangout for whatever reason. They may have to work, whatever's going on. So it's good to keep cognizant of that question and then ask that question on the Hangout so that it's there and they answer it, and then you get the recording and you email it to your prospect or your team member and say, hey, watch the replay, they answered your question. And you still didn't answer it yourself. You actually helped them, like Brett said, you helped them by not answering their question. And just like Justin Varengia said, you market to people without marketing.
Yep, the art of marketing without marketing.
Yes.
Oh,
Man, I mean, like, my brain after we left that Sunday, though, was like, oh, my brain hurts so bad. Because, I mean, if I were to, like, go through that course, because I filmed it in 1.5-hour sections, so I would assume that it'll probably be in the back office, like, in 1.5-hour sections. So I probably would watch, like, one a day, because it was all, like, super just, like, high-level stuff, you know? I mean, but it's good. And it's not like he's confusing. It's very, very clear. And he uses, like, whenever I was going through even the fast start today, because, like, Dave is, like, the master, and he will not make a point without telling, like, a story and a metaphor that makes it very clear in the way your brain understands information. And he did that. It was just a lot of information. And you guys are going to love it. For those of you that weren't in Nolans, as the New Orleans natives call it, you guys are absolutely going to love it.
Man.
And that's just the second one. I mean, the best one is the best. He saved the best for last, and that's what's going to happen in Charlotte. So you got to get to Charlotte. I wasn't going to go, and now I'm going. And so people need to re-up, and they need to get there. They need to get to Charlotte. You need to get your ticket right away. It's only 30 days away, 29 now. You got to get there. There's so much being released there. You want to be a part of this thing. And there's something really, 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 really cool happening as well. And I'm not going to give specifics and details, but it was announced at the event, so you all as my team, you know, we're going to let you know what's coming. But there's going to be something happening here where we're going to have a way for people to take advantage of the product line in a superior way. And that's because we're going to be implementing packages. We're going to have actual packages, not just trying to upsell to each product going through, but actual packages, which make it easy and succinct about what people are getting, which outlines clearly what people are going to getting, what they're getting. And every internet marketer knows that's a superior way to sell. And so that's going to help sell for you even more. And with those packages, there's going to be time-sensitive discounts for this stuff, which is the biggest thing
that's sneaky or dirty.
Yeah, that's dirty, right? And so what I love is that I've got one of the highest upgrade rates in the company. Not the highest anymore because we had this kid by the name of AK Jr. that just blew me out of the water. My God. I don't even want to talk about it right now. You know, there's cool stuff happening with that, though. But, you know, the thing is that when I was on my upgrade calls, I always felt there was something missing. And that was the element of time-sensitive urgency, which all I could do was offer bonuses and loss of bonuses, which still was all right, but it didn't really work that well. And now we have real scarcity built into this thing that's going to happen down the line. That's not going to happen right away, but down the line here soon. And so for existing members, there's going to be something offered as well. So that's awesome too. So not to worry. And let's see, was there anything else? I think that was it on that front, because I just want to let them handle the details in the back office there. But between the Fast Start training, which is just a whole other thing that could easily be sold as you know, a $500 product in itself, you know, we have these other products coming out that are going to be very professionally packaged that we're going to be able to sell to the industry, not just the Empower affiliate line, but to the whole industry. And that's one of the reasons, coming back to my point from the beginning, is that we are now not going to be doing this "we're better than you" thing, or this low-level argument of "mine's better" argument. We're going to welcome people, and we're going to let people do what they want. And if they don't have a company that they're building yet, we're going to encourage them to plug in with us, because trying to build multiple opportunities is just flat-out stupid. And it never lasts long-term, because you have your people see you in multiple opportunities, and they don't know what to trust, and they don't know what to do, and your upgrade rates never really happen because they don't know really where to go all in with you at. You know? They don't know where you're going to be. And so as a result, they do nothing. So if you didn't come to that realization until just now, then that means congratulations, you're growing as a leader. Now get out of your other deals and find one and be in that one no matter what it is, even if it's a different one than this. For your own benefit, do one opportunity. It's fine to sell affiliate tools. Fine to do that. But when you're trying to build multiple teams and multiple business opportunities, you know, like MLMs, or these hybrid MLMs like what Empower is and some of the copycats since then, that's fine. You know, hey, we set the bar higher. You know, that's okay. Yeah. That's one of the things about competition I was going to get into here is that, you know, the thing about competition is, if you look at the Greek word of competition, which I think it's like something like agon or something like that is what it actually comes down to. Or I may be wrong, but what I do know is the Greek meaning of competition is not to it's not to defeat your opponent. That was never the point of competition. Competition was for people to work with each other to make everybody better. That's what we usually refer to as healthy competition, right? It's where you have two athletes, you know, in the Greek meaning, where they push each other and are competing with each other, and when somebody does something better, they're both learning and sharing what they're doing so they make each other better, so that the group as a whole gets better. And so in our team we have healthy competition. Anybody does something great, we bring them out. Hey, what are you doing? Can we share this for everybody else so everybody else can get better? And as a result, we continue to grow and grow and grow because everybody adds a piece to it, right? It's healthy competition. So I had a little conversation with AK. A lot of you may have been on the Empower Hour call last night where you listened to AK talk about how he has a 60% all-in ratio. Now, until that time, you know, I was under the impression, all the way up until he said that on stage, I was still under the impression I had the highest all-in rate, and here's why. I called down to Empower Network, and I talked to Heather, and I talked to a few other people, and I say, can you just check, you know, I know it's tough, but anyone who's sponsored over 100 people, you know, leaders, you know, find out what their ratios are if anybody has a higher upgrade ratio than me. And she was like, not that I can find, Chris. 1 out of 5, you're about 20%. That's, you know, better than just about anybody. And I was like, okay, got it. Verified, right? And so AK comes along, and he gets on stage, and he's like, yeah, I've sponsored 37 people, and 15 of them, or 39 people, and 15 of them are all in. Are you kidding me? I mean, you should have seen the look on my face. I mean, it was like, I mean, let me put it this way. You know, we talk about those 3 phases of life, like the caged life, the comfortable life, and the charged life. You know, in that area, I was like, comfortable. You know, I was comfortable. And then he said that, and you should have seen the look in my eyes. After that, I was like, no more of this shit. Everybody else looked like a pansy with his upgrade rates. And I said, that's it, okay. And I just did the upgrade training, and here's the cool part. AK comes to me after the training, he's like, and even on stage, he pointed me out, he's like, Chris, oh my God, what you taught with the upgrade training is going to make me even better. And I was like, shit, really? No, I'm kidding. You know, I was like, good, okay, because there's a few things I can learn from you. Let's get together and both put together what we do best and what we find that works and incorporate it into what we do. Let's fill in the gaps and make each other better. And let's take a case study that we can present at the national event as to how much we increased our upgrades from combining our skill sets, competing in a healthy way. In all reality, I'm like, I just want to learn how to do what he does. He's got more than double the work that, you know. But you know, he agreed to it, and so we're going to get together and look at some of this stuff and see if we can't make what we do here better, so we can teach this to the whole team. Which that other parts of those upgrade trainings are coming, and now I fully understand why we waited, why I got the hit, like just things didn't work out, timing, scheduling, traveling, all that stuff, to do the other two parts of the upgrade training, and now I know why. Because it wasn't ready yet. Because it's going to be even better than it was before. So we're going to bring you the best, most current of what's working. So that's the cool part about that. So that, you know, and that's competition. That's real competition. You know, I'm glad about that. I'm okay because now, you know, it's kind of like a race, right? When you're the lead dog, you're setting the pace. And after a while, you get tired of being the one that sets the pace, right? And so sometimes it's cool to fall back and let someone else set the pace, and you just hang out at like second or third, and you kind of get your energy back and get ready to overtake first place again, right? And so I've got something to shoot for now. I had my whole paradigm just shattered by this 22-year-old kid, right? I was like, okay, all right, now it's time to play. Finally, somebody worth killing. No, I'm kidding, right?
Did Chris act all cool about it? I don't know if he was this cool about it at first, though.
No, I was pissed.
I think I saw him kick a puppy in the back of the room. Just kicked it right across the room.
I wondered why there was a puppy just flying across the stage.
Yeah.
You guys.
That's funny. That's funny.
And then he's out there, and he's, you know, English isn't my first language, and it's hard to get credit cards.
You just gotta keep sticking the paint in there. You gotta keep etching that knife in my side right now, huh?
He can't even process credit card payments. Like, I mean, if that doesn't, like, get rid of every excuse for everyone, you know, it's like, yeah, well, I mean, for them to even give me the money, they had to send it to my bank, I had to go get the cards, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had to smuggle it in a cat. It's like, Jesus. I like how, because that, you know, Dave always says, you know, people complain about Empower, and he's like, well, look at this kid, you know, it's just another one making money in Empower, you know, shit, you know.
Oh, yeah, dude, that was funny. Like, they like come and they're like hoping, you know, the new people aren't making money, you know, so they have like their excuses, and they're like, oh, there's a new one making money, you know.
And that's the same thing as what Taproots do.
Yeah.
It takes away all the excuses. Now they have the incentive.
Yeah.
No, I took it fine. I was happy. I had already, you know, and funny enough, like I had to go through a little process where I was like, you know what? If I was recruiting 2 a day, my ratios would go down, and they'd still be real good. My customer value would probably dip maybe just a little bit, but if I was recruiting 2 a day, I'd rather have the income of Justin Varengia versus the upgrade rate of Chris Rushlow. You know?
Yeah.
So
Can't argue that.
yeah, I don't know, right? I mean, who's going to argue with that? So I come to terms with it a while ago. I was like, hey, I don't, who cares? Who cares if I've got the highest? I mean, it worked because it gave me the credibility to be able to train on it, which I know how to do. But it's not necessarily the end all. So I was glad someone else took it, so I don't have to live up to it now. Which, oh no, that's total BS because I'm going to do everything I can to get that back.
Oh man.
Oh, this was a fun weekend, wasn't it? Did we learn so much? It's like, how can you be more excited about this going on than like even we were at first? I mean, even Empower at first was like awesome. We were so excited out of our mind. And I look at this and it's like, hold on. We've evolved. We know more and more about the industry. We know more and more about ourselves. We know so much more on every level. And we just made some tweaks and got back to what works and brought it to the next level. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm like a new person again.
Yep, it's like a rebirth of Empower. I mean, Empower, it's cool, and the thing I love about Empower the most is just how Dave is like, like people ask him, like, what's your exit strategy? And he's like, death.
Death.
Like, that's Empower, right? Like that's Empower Network. You're safe here. And me and Chris were kind of talking because I went away for a little while, and I was like, the best thing about going away for a little while is now I know to never go away ever again. Because there's nothing better. And I guess, and I don't want to, bash other things, because other things are awesome. If you love other things, it's cool. But we're in a safe place here, which is good.
Yeah. So we're coming up on that time, guys. So
final thoughts?
Any final thoughts here? And, hey, go ahead and take them home and sell for me here. I do it all the time, so go ahead.
Right. Do the selling, brother.
Oh man, no, I just first want to thank you guys. Had a fun weekend hanging out. Empower has changed my life back when I got started a year ago. Well, I guess a little bit more than a year at Chicago, and from that event, just the personal growth, personally, emotionally, financially, anything that you're looking for, you can get here with Empower. And it doesn't, they've talked a lot about selling and just being yourself and selling through your vision, and that's a lot more powerful than all these fancy systems and everything else that are out there. Everything you need to grow as a person and financially is right here with our team, with Empower. One vision, one goal, moving forward. And for me personally, my vision here over the next 90 days is to make $100,000 and create 5-6-figure income earners over the next year. And I'm going to do it no matter what. And it'd be cool if we can take as many people with us on this journey as we can. So if you're not in Empower, if you're watching this, you're a new person, just take it from somebody with a lot of experience. This is the place to be. Dave's never going to leave us. Team BTC is never going to leave you, and I'm just excited. We're moving forward and get to Charlotte. If you're in the team, get to Charlotte. It'll be worth it, and we'll see you there. That's all I got to say.
Cool, dude. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. Yeah, guys. If you ain't in yet, you need to just get in, right? I remember whenever I joined Empower Network a few years ago. And I had no idea that I would be here 2.5 years later. Whenever I first saw that first video, I'm like, this thing, like, what is this thing? And now, here we are. We're 2.5 years later, and Empower Network is stronger than ever. And I'm just excited. I'm really, really excited to get back going and everything. And we're going to do things in a big, big way here. So if you ain't in yet, click the button below. Get in. And I appreciate you, Chris, man. Thank you for the awesome introduction of me, dude. I was like having like chills when you were introducing me, dude. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. It was my honor. My honor and pleasure. And so with that, guys, that's what we're here. That's our time here. And we'll be back next week with another training, and we'll have a few of our other team members on. We'll have Amy and Jordan back, and you'll be able to hear from a few of our other team members with the plans we have going on. Some cool stuff coming. Really excited about it. And this is that time, guys. This is that time where you may be in a place where you've been looking for something. For those of you who are new tonight that have been invited by somebody, there comes a time when you just need to learn to make a decision. And what I did in my life, where I created a six-figure income, I made a decision. Now, results not typical. Not everybody makes a six-figure income in this business. But last year, my earnings from just Empower Network alone were $162,000 with all the corrections in my back office that didn't show on my check that I show people, right? So 162. And obviously, once again, results not typical. See our income disclosure at the bottom of this page that shows the average earnings. But my question to you is, are you average? And how boring is that? Right? And so if you're looking for something, we have the training you need, we have the products you need, and if you treat this like a business, you can make it be your business. And join us. As you can see, we've got a family here. We've got an amazing group of people that are here to support you in a Facebook group. They'll get your questions answered, and it'll help you get your questions answered with your prospects here on these Hangouts. All you got to do is join. Get your $25 blog. They get you a blog, which is how we're going to teach you how to use that to market. And then pay your $20 affiliate fee, which allows you to be able to resell those products. But start there. And go ahead and get the other products as well if you want. Once you watch that Fast Start training, you'll understand why. So with that, we love you, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.